Gotta love that opening there. Welcome into Bird City Sports Insiders, the hottest show in the Valley. I'm your host, Jay Russell. Now, on Monday night, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Phillies 5-1 thanks to a stellar performance by Merrill Kelly, who gave up only 1 run in 5 innings. Then it all came down to Game 7, the ultimate showdown, the final frontier, the Phillies versus the Diamondbacks at Citizens Bank Park. Who will win the National League pennant? Our Diamondbacks insider, Jacob Hardin, has all the details on the most epic game of the year.
Thank you, Jay. It's still kind of, it's weird to say that the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2023 are headed to the World Series over what has gone through over the last couple of years. It's incredible to just think about that this is a team that beat Milwaukee, swept them, swept the Dodgers, and then took Philly the distance, beat them 2 games in Citizens Bank Park. And the entire time they were doing this, it was a fluke. It's only a matter of time before they implode. And they just kept on cruising. And I love the attitude from, you had Merrill Kelly saying they're playing with house money. And what Torey Lovullo, I know he probably won't win Coach of the Year because it's based on regular season, but he is Coach of the Year. Torey Lovullo, what he has done in this postseason, how he has worked this rotation, his bullpen, it's been incredible. Mixing the starting lineup around, getting more aggressive when they need to. It's been amazing to watch, and there was so much talk about him getting fired at the beginning of the year or halfway through the season when everything kind of looked like it was going down the drain. I don't think there's any talk about that anymore. Now it's talks about extending him even more than what we have. And it's just insane, and I don't think there is any, you can't count them out. You cannot count them out against the Rangers because if they can beat the Phillies, they can beat anybody.
And then the funny thing, he said too, I was like, I knew what if they win and then what if they lose. So of course the one he lost, he was like, it was a great
Rangers
season.
are also very inexperienced, just like the Diamondbacks. Of course, the Rangers do have some veterans on their side, but so do the Diamondbacks. So this is going to be a dogfight.
You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to get it like quickly. So I got like a little bit.
The Diamondbacks play like they have so far this postseason.
But he's just saying like what it means, and then a little preview.
And I'm so excited to see how Chase Field is going to be.
So at least we knew the other side of the equation. Like
the first time since 2001, going to be hosting a World Series game, and that place is going to be rocking. So it's a great time to be cheering on the Diamondbacks. Couldn't be more proud of what they've done, and job's not finished.
Thanks, Jacob. We witnessed a miracle in baseball. Our Arizona Diamondbacks went from being on the verge of elimination to clinching a spot in the World Series for the first time since 2001. All of Arizona is excited. You can see Jacob there has a permanent smile on his face, as everyone does here in the Valley. Can't believe these guys are going to the World Series to face the Texas Rangers. Make sure you check out our YouTube page for Games 3 and Game 4. We'll be at Chase Field for a preview of the World Series game against the Texas Rangers. Now, switching gears over from the diamond to the hardwood, the Phoenix Suns kicked off their season against the Golden State Warriors, and they took care of business for their first game. Now they're gearing up to face their arch rivals, no other than the Los Angeles Lakers. KD versus LeBron, Booker and AD. It's a clash of the Titans. Who better to bring us all this action than Lauren Jones from the Sporting Tribune in LA? She's got her finger on the pulse for the Lakers and is going to give us a scoop of the game that's coming up. Check out our chat from earlier this week. Heard some Los Angeles Lakers speaking about their upcoming game against the Phoenix Suns. And here to talk about that is our insider right now who's out in Los Angeles. We got Miss Lauren Jones. You've been covering them right now for the Sporting Tribune. What are you looking at right now for the Lakers to do this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think the start is definitely one thing that we can impress upon. The team is in a much better place. They're deeper. They have more shooters. Obviously, we saw that throughout the preseason, but it's now the actual regular season, and so I think that's one of the expectations is that they start strong, but also that they are able to get these rotations kind of down. So there's all these kind of personal goals that are wrapped up into the Lakers' bigger goals, but it's all laddering up to winning championship 18. I think that's what's on all Lakers fans' mind heading into this season.
The Lakers are worried about championship 18, and the Phoenix Suns are worried about championship 1 because they've been only 2 times in 93, 2021. From the Phoenix Suns, they brought over Bradley Beal from last season during the Super Bowl weekend. They brought over KD. And then I'm looking at the Lakers, and I actually asked KD about this in media day. I'm like, hey, the Lakers got AD down low. The Kings got Sabonis down low. I mean, it's just a lot of busy bodies in the paint there, and I'm seeing you guys added Christian Wood there.
there. AD is still there. I think Hayes came over from New Orleans. Do you think that that's going to be like a point of emphasis this year where the Lakers are able to use their bigs against teams and really just kind of bully them? And then I forgot about the biggest bull, LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't forget about him. I mean, I know he's entering in, to season 21, but obviously LeBron can still bang with the best of them. No, and I think that, as you mentioned, one of the important things for AD was to get some more depth at that big position. So with the additions of Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes, and seeing, the dynamic of AD and Christian Wood during the preseason, sharing the court together, you kind of saw how the spacing was, it took a little bit of pressure off of AD. And I think he's very pleased with that dynamic, and we'll see how that's employed throughout the season.
Well, it's going to work out for all five of those teams in the Pacific Division, with all of them having championship aspirations, from the Clippers, who you covered, the Lakers, the Suns and Phoenix, the Warriors, and also the young guns, the Kings, coming at it too. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be keeping in contact with you for the 3 other games that they're going to have against the Lakers, and hopefully we can get you on for the Clippers too.
Oh yeah, I'll be, especially before we head over to Inglewood. I mean, they head over to Inglewood. Just happy to be reconnected with you, NABJ. Okay.
Yeah, hey, there we go. That's what we were talking about. We met in New Orleans. I'm gonna throw up a picture right now. We got that picture right there. We're out in New Orleans, so we've been seeing AD for a long time. But Lord, thank you so much. We'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.
Goodness, cannot believe that was only in 2017. So much has changed since then. Lauren, thanks for coming on the show. Now moving from the hardwood to lacing up our skates and hitting the ice with the Arizona Coyotes. Yeah, y'all didn't think they was going to do this. The Coyotes ain't here to play this season. Let's go. The boys had 2 games this week against the Los Angeles Kings. All right, well, we ain't going to talk about that one. Started the season off 3-2. There were some questions about how the Coyotes would start this season. What player has led them the way so far? Who they were doing so well against? What the Coyotes fans should expect against LA as they visit the Mullet Arena on Friday? And with that analysis and more is our Coyotes insider, Alec. My guy is here with us in studio right now, and I love it. He is fitted. That's why I had to come dressed up this week. I said I can't have my man out dressing me. The first couple of games of the season, 3-3 on the year. What are your first thoughts?
Well, the first 5 games, I would say the first 5 games, I thought, they played really well. Last game, they pretty much threw all of that out the window. The goaltending wasn't the greatest. Karel Vejmelka played okay. Connor Ingram started the game, gave up 3 goals on his first 9 shots. The Coyotes started on time. They scored their first goal. Jack McVane scored.
Yeah.
But it was just bang, bang, bang. 3-1, and then they tried to come back. It was 4-3, and then the Kings scored, made it 5-3. Barrett Hayton, he hasn't had a point all season. He tips the puck, and you think, okay, it's a goal.
Right.
Gets called back for offsides. so last night it was an okay game, but I just feel like they could have done a lot more. Goaltending was basically the most biggest issue last night.
I mean, and you were talking about that too with Connor. I mean, Vejmelka came in, he had 15 saves on the night. I mean, I'm a big fan of Vejmelka, because I'm always going to give him a little shot out there. But losing 6-3, that's not the idea what the Coyotes have shown us, especially since coming out and winning against the Devils at the beginning of the season to get us all excited. That's okay. This team has had a major roster changes the past offseason, and now they look like they gelled easily. But what are your expectations now? Have they met them, or do you feel like, you know what, they still got some work to do?
Well, I think that they're a little bit ahead of schedule. The 2 games that I felt like the Coyotes really proved that they improved from last year was the 2 games against New York, Rangers and Islanders. They were losses, but there were 1 goal. Right. And there was the 2 best goalies in the league, Yosha Storkin and Ilya Sorokin. Those games proved to me, these guys are for real. But last night, like I said, it's just 1 bad game. Could they come back we're going to talk about it later, but could they come back Friday? we'll probably see. It's the mullet magic, baby. Come on.
I know, you know what? I have a mullet at home too. I'm gonna have to bring it for next week. So it looks so beautiful. I mean, the blonde mullet too. All right. So now, when everybody talks about the Arizona Coyotes hockey, they think of course, Clayton Keller. How has he been playing, and what do you think his ceiling is for this season?
So last season he had 86 points in 82 games, and he's already on pace to be above point per game player. He's had 7 points in 6 games. And he had a good goal last night, one-timer, top shelf. I thought he's been playing really good. Nick Schmaltz, they're both tied in points right now with 7 and 6. So
Logan Cooley, 5.
Logan Cooley has 5 assists.
There you go.
As the best rookie right now with 5 points.
Call it out.
But I think Keller, he's going to be 90 plus points this season at least. Jeez. If he can hit 100, it's a possibility. But I think 90, 95 points is probably where we'll see his ceiling at right now.
All right, I like it. And then lastly, I want to ask you about too. We're looking at the West right now. Vegas hasn't lost yet. The Avalanche are doing their thing. The Coyotes are right in the middle at 3-3. Is this where you want them, kind of in the thick of things, or do you want them a little bit more at the top? Kind of like, it's funny, the Diamondbacks right now, they kind of started out strong, went down, and then fizzled into. But I want to get your thoughts on the Yotes.
So I think wild card expectations is probably what we're looking at. Anything above that, yeah, that's even greater. But I feel like they'll probably play meaningful games in April, in late March, early April. But I just feel like they'll either make the cut or they might just miss by a couple points. Probably like the Nashville Predators last season. They only missed out by like 3-4 points in the playoffs. So I feel like right around that ballpark, that's what we'll probably see for the season.
All right, well, we're still going for them. We can't wait to see those Yotes. They're right where I want them right now. That's why I asked you about it. I'm like, this is where I want the Yotes. Hopefully they can stay there or do better. I want them hovering around 500 or better. All right, well, Alec Cipollini, thanks for coming on the show, my guy. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being on the show. You can read his articles and stay up to date with everything with Coyotes hockey and what to know before that battle for the Los Angeles Kings this Friday. Go to our website, burncitysports.com. So the Suns are taking on LA. We got the Coyotes taking on LA. You know who we got to talk about now. Last but not least, oh my goodness, the Arizona Cardinals. Damian Adams is here with us right now, and we're going to start off by our burn or earn question of the week. Damian, what year did the Cardinals move from St. Louis? And I'm going to give you 2 choices here.
Okay.
Was it before 1990 or after 1990 did the Cardinals move here?
I would say before 1990.
Before 19, there you go. It was 1988 there. I know, I just had to give you like a little bitty one. I was like, I'm not going to try to throw them off. That's right. Yeah. The Cardinals located to Arizona after attempts to get in an all-football stadium in St. Louis failed. And then they were in St. Louis from 1960 to 1987, so a couple of years. Now, speaking of the Cards, the Cardinals are 1-6 after losing to Seattle 20-10. Kyler Murray did not play in that game, but he may soon be back. Is there a real reason for fans to be excited this season after he returns?
The only excitement would be to see if he can still play, see if he is ready to lead this team next year to do something. Because this year, it's not going to happen. So you have to just look to the future when it comes to the Cardinals. So the excitement would be, if Kyler looks good, maybe next year will look good with the draft picks that we have.
You know what? I feel like that's a good point because San Fran isn't going to be caught right now. They're just too far ahead. I think they only lost they just played Thursday, I believe, or they just played on Monday. Yeah. They lost to the Vikings. So maybe, you never know. All right, well, what went wrong for the Cardinals for the Seattle Seahawks? 20-10. Where's the offense? Defense held them under 21, but what's going on?
So it's been the same story the last few weeks for the Cardinals. The second half, it seems like they just can't get the ball going at all. They've been shut out in the second half the last 2 games. Over the last 4 games, they have a total of 12 points in the second half of those last 4 games. And a lot of times when you have a team that's expected to do bad, you don't look at the coaching. But I feel like we have to look at the coaching now because when you have teams that are not being able to adjust and score in the second half, that's when you have to look at the coaching, like what's going on? Why are adjustments not being made?
Right.
Last week we talked about how the Rams ran away in the second half and they didn't adjust. This week they didn't adjust again. You look back to even the game against the Giants earlier in the season, they had that super huge lead.
And gave it up.
Gave it up in the second half. Yeah. So you really have to look at this team and say, what's going on in the locker room during halftime, or why aren't adjustments being made during the game to adjust to what the other team is doing?
You know what? And I think that speaks to experience of coaching, because you always hear about Belichick, second half adjustments, or just even any sport, like the NBA, for example, Steve Kerr. Amazing in the second half there. So I feel like that's important. And even more importantly, we have a juggernaut coming in this weekend in Arizona. Are the Arizona Cardinals able to pull out the upset against Lamar Jackson in those legs against the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, the first step would be to pray. If you want the Cardinals to win that game, because that's gonna be you fighting an uphill battle. They're coming off of their best performance. Yeah. They balled out against the Lions, and the Lions looked really good going into that game, and they got blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. So you have Lamar Jackson starting to find his groove, their defense starting to find their groove, and Kyler Murray still reported not to be ready to play quite yet.
Sheesh.
So if the Cardinals win this game, I don't know anything. It's just,
you know what? What do you think? This is funny. Last question, real quick, too. What do you think would be a bigger win, the Ravens or that Cowboys win?
It'll be the Ravens right now.
Ravens? Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like the Ravens are showing themselves to be a Super Bowl contender. The Cowboys have been kind of inconsistent throughout the year, and their offense just hasn't been there. Yeah. So the Ravens, especially after beating Detroit like that, and Detroit's been looking great this year, if the Cardinals are able to upset them and then get Kyler Murray back, then you have room for excitement if that happens.
Well, that's what the Arizona Cardinals fans want to hear at home, all about that excitement. My guy right here, Damian Adams, check him out. You can see all of his stories on BurnCitySports.com. And then also you can see him on Burn City Suns Talk podcast that comes on our weekly shows. So thank you for coming on the show, my guy.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Got you, man. Well, that does it all this week for Burn City Sports Insiders. If you have topics that you want to discuss or show or ask questions to players in practice, make sure you let us know about it. We'll get it done for you. Contact us on social media at Burn City Sports, and make sure that you follow and subscribe. All the cool kids do it. That's all for this week for Burn City Sports. I'm Jay Russell.